guys, so we just finished up for right now this driveway, and as you can see, it is on the side of a mountain. But for what all this cost, I started thinking about things that you need to look at before you buy a piece of property. I did a short, but they cut you off pretty quick, so I wanted to talk a little bit further about the cost involved before you even break ground on building your house. Sometimes in our area, in some of these areas that are heavily wooded or out in the country setting, what it takes just to get to the site where you want to build. As you can see, we took this driveway up about 400 feet, and you may not be able to see it right here on the camera, but that's where our water's coming down. So we threw two 18-inch culverts in, put some big riprap, the bigger rocks in, and built over level right here. But anyways, guys, this isn't one of my building lots. This is actually one of our customers, and he's going to build on top of that mountain up there, and then a pole barn, and then put a home right here where this stuff is in these thickets right here. So anyways, what I want to talk about is number one, as you see, what you want to look at when you're looking at a piece of property. Look at where you think you're going to put the house, or where it's showing it on the plot. If you got a bigger lot, you can kind of set your house where you want to set it. Smaller lot, you might have to set it exactly where they got it marked on the plot. But you need to look at where you're going to put your driveway in, how long is your driveway, how much excavating you need to do. I would say the best thing, if you're not a builder or in the business and you don't have an idea, is get a hold of an excavator and meet them out there as quick as possible. In this market, you got to act pretty quick if it's a decent building lot. But that's one thing you need to look at, and there's several other things. You need to look at power. How far is power going to have to come? Usually the electricity or the power companies will bring it so far, but in our jurisdiction, you still got to bury the conduit, and they'll pull the wire in up to 1,000 feet. So you got to look at how far you got to run your conduit to get to your building. So one, look at how much excavating is going to need to be done to get to your building site and a driveway and access to your lot. Two, you need to look at power, how far it's going to take you to get power. You need to look at, like on this site, we would be thinking about how deep the well would be. Because sometimes when you get on the side of these mountains, sometimes if you're not city water and sewer, these wells can go 500, 600, 700 feet. Now here it probably won't. You're probably looking at 400 or 500 feet. But there's some, if you go up on the top side of that mountain, you might go 600, 700 feet. You never know. So take that in consideration. Where you're going to have to set your septic. Is there going to be major excavating involved for setting your septic? So you got your driveway, power, where you're going to, you kind of got an idea how deep the well is going to be, or a guesstimate on how deep the well is going to be for the budget. You look at how much it's going to take to get a septic installed if you're not hooked up to city water and sewer, obviously, for the well and septic. And then the big one is around here, because a lot of these lots are heavily wooded, and it's a lot of farmland and just mountain land, is how much is the excavator going to charge you to clear the lot and prep your building pad. Sometimes that can be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. So if you're looking at a building lot and and in your mind it's a great deal, but it's going to cost you $60,000 to get power, driveway, and the lot cleared, well, then that takes a good deal and makes it not such a good deal. And you got to take that in consideration with your offer. It is a competitive market, so it's hard to get a building lot, period. But that's things you need to look at before you even start pricing out for your house, just to acquire the land. Sometimes you know, to make the improvements on the land, you could be $30,000-$40,000, or you could be $60,000-$70,000, depending on how big the lot is. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, what it takes. You can see we took this thing on up here, and we're going to take it on up the mountain, and there's going to be a pole barn up there. But we got, just like here, we got a lot of heavy clearing to do. This stuff's really thick up here on this mountain. So, I mean, for us, you know, it's kind of a good thing when we're working with a client, but at the same time, you want to save them as much money as you can and do it as cost effective as you can. But those are a few things that you need to take a look at before you even jump and have your agent or you make an offer on the building lot. Or just make sure you have that worked in the budget when you go for your construction loan, or you go for your land loan, or if you're paying cash, you go to make the offer. Just don't, you know, there's so many surprises in this business, and you don't want to get a $30,000-$40,000 surprise. A couple $1,000s is one thing. I always tell everybody, and I always got in the back of my mind, there's two things that you don't stay on in the construction business. You don't stay on budget, and you don't stay on schedule. Anybody that tells you they do, you know, they're